This video is one of my favorite that I like to make. The turning trash into treasures. And this time I'm going to share with you 3 ideas that I came up with, some items that I found or was given. And this first is this lantern that I picked up at a flea market. Now I paid $20 for it, which was probably way too much, but all the glass panels were in perfect shape. It was just very rusty and had a lot of wax in the base. So I thought I can do something with this. So I took all of that wax out. Then I've got my heat gun, and it's just a really hot, kind of like a hair dryer, but it's used for embossing. And I just really focused on getting all of that wax in the bottom of this lantern out. I took all the glass panels out, cleaned those up, and now I'm just trying to get all that wax up. And if you get it hot and you dab it with some paper towels, that helps to get the wax out. So if you've got some kind of candle holder or something that you just felt like you should throw away, this is a great tip, using an embossing heat gun. So after I was able to get all of that wax out, I decided I needed to really get some of the rust off. So I took a steel brush, and I did have some steel wool, and I just went over the whole piece. Now, nothing was rusted through, it just had a really good coat of rust all over it. I got that off, and then I sprayed it with a very shiny black spray. And I think it turned out great. So for $20, I put all the glass panels back in, got a pretty bow, and it's sitting out on my front porch. And I just really love it. Now these are very expensive if you're to buy those in the store, but always keep your eye out for any kind of lantern. It may be in bad shape, but this is what you can do to make it look really pretty again. So that's one of my ideas. So let's look at the next thing that you can do with old junk. When my mother-in-law passed away, we were cleaning out her kitchen, and I found her old flour sifter. And bless her heart, she had kept this all those years, and when it broke, instead of getting a new one, she tied a string and fixed her handle. It's pretty rusty inside, but I kept thinking I want to save that, and I'd like to do some kind of a flower arrangement in it. So I picked up at the Dollar Tree a little styrofoam piece, and then I'm going to wedge that between the 2 beater bars. Just tuck it down in there. It fit perfect. And now I'm just going to take some odds and end pieces. I didn't go out and buy anything. I just kind of used up some of my craft supplies that I already had in the house. And I'm just going to make a really cute little floral arrangement for my kitchen. So I'm just tucking in this pick that I picked up at the dollar store. And then I had some cardinals left over from a project, and I thought that would be pretty in there. But first I filled it in with some moss. And I always keep bags of this moss because I love it. And I let a little bit spill over, and then I just tucked in a silk cardinal. Now years ago, right after I got married, I took a flower arranging class through a community college, and the teacher for some reason did not like me, and everything I made, she said the color was wrong, the colors didn't match, I was not shaping it right. She was always very critical, but I never let that slow me down. I just brushed it off and went ahead and kept making arrangements. Sometimes words can really hurt, so I should always be careful what we say and not be critical. But I think it turned out fine, and I thought, you know what, it needs a little bling. So I had this silver glittery piece, which normally I wouldn't put in there, but it really needed some height. So I added that to the back. And then, like I said, this was going to go in my kitchen. I was going to put a ribbon around it, but I just felt like it was enough. I had to stop, so I'm going to hot glue the little pine cones onto the moss just to hold them still. And then after Christmas, I'll probably leave this up through January and February because I love cardinals. But after that, I can pop this right out and I can put in a plant or something else. But it's just a really nice memory of my mother-in-law using this flour sifter. So there in the corner of my kitchen, I have this little cardinal set up, and I think it looks really cute. I may not pass a flower arranging class, but I like it, and that's all that matters. Alright, this is my last and most favorite project. These bread bowls were purchased at a junk store in the Outer Banks, and I'm going to be making candles using soy wax, orange and clove essential oil, some cinnamon sticks, some cloves, and some anise seed pods. So I'm going to take my 2 wicks and put those into this bread bowl. But first I run them through the taped together bamboo skewers so that will hold the wicks in place. And I'm going to be melting the wax and then pouring that right inside this bread bowl. These turned out so pretty, and they make great gifts. Now here I am melting the wax, and you will be happy to know that today I went to Hobby Lobby and picked up a candle making can with a handle on it, so I don't have to use this tin can anymore because this can gets very hot. So I'm just adding in, now that I've melted the wax, I'm going to add in the essential oils. You can use any fragrance, and just mix that in really good. And now we're going to start to pour this into the bread bowls. Now it's very hot, so I'm excited to start using my new pot because this is so hot. You have to be very careful, and you just pour it right into your bowl. Now I'm holding up the wicks with those bamboo skewers, and you might have to adjust it a little bit, but they do a really good job of holding it in place. Now I'm going to save a little bit of the wax and keep it on the stove melted, because I'm going to pour that over at the very end of the video. So I had to wait about 2 hours for it to thicken up because I don't want my decorations to drop to the bottom of the bowl. So I waited about 2 hours. And then you can just set these things right on top. Now I did tuck down the cinnamon sticks, but everything else just sat right on top. And I just kind of decorated them away from the candle wicks on either side. And then once it completely hardens, about another hour or so, I went back and I took the melted wax and just kind of went over the top just to secure it and hold it in place so it doesn't move around. And these look so pretty, and they smell so good. So keep a lookout at thrift stores, junk stores, antique places for these wooden bread bowls or dough bowls. They work perfect for candle holders. I really enjoyed making these, and I've got an order in for more because they turned out so well. And you don't have to use these spices. You could use seashells, you could use lavender, whatever you have, dried flowers, anything would be pretty in these bowls. Just make sure you leave the wick area open. So after I completed it and let it dry overnight, I just tied some hemp rope around it and added a little homemade gift card with an anise seed hot glued to the front. I think they turned out wonderful. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you loved all these trash treasures that I came up with this year, and I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm working my way to 700 subscribers. Have a very blessed day.